Hey guys, welcome back to another review. It's been a little while since I did a review last. I have to confess, I've been very busy lately, and I also have been trying to get reviews done, but because my dad's girlfriend moved into the house, I've been struggling. Especially since, I tend to work better alone. And actually, she's out right now. She's actually going to get some stuff. So hopefully I can get this video done before she gets back, because, personally, I kind of do better making videos without people around, because, I get worried about getting interrupted, That said, though, in today's video, I actually have had this review planned for a long time. And this one is actually Star Wars Rebels. Yeah, I'm actually reviewing a Disney Star Wars show. I wasn't going to be doing this in the past. I know people are kind of getting probably tired of people hating on the company, but Disney itself has not been a very good company, and on the Star Wars side, they have said some horrible stuff about people and all that, and I'm just like, I want to enjoy something or not like something without people, shit talking on people, So, yeah, not that very good, but I figured I would go ahead and at least review. I'm gonna review some of the shows at least, since I talk about Star Wars sometimes on my channel. I figured I'd go ahead and review this for you guys. Now, I did the movies, I did the prequels, the sequel trilogy, the original trilogy, I did the one-off films, which was, Solo, and, actually, I think it's called Han Solo. No, it was just called Solo, that's right, it was called Solo, and then we had, Star Wars, what was it, not A New Hope, that was the original trilogy, I can't remember the name of it, Rogue One, that's what it was, Rogue One. So, yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and review this for you guys. And that's the thing, too, with this show, is, I actually have, I wanted to review the Clone Wars first, because this actually takes place after the Clone Wars. But because the Clone Wars was canceled by Disney, and, it was canceled by Disney, and, they eventually did bring back a season 7, but they kind of retconned some stuff. I know another great move by the Walt Disney Company, especially when it comes to Star Wars. It's a very great thing they did. By great, I'm being sarcastic. It's a shitty thing they did, because it was getting ready to wrap it up, and then they brought this show in, which pissed a lot of people off, But I figured we'll ignore the controversial stuff with, online, because it's kind of like my Family Guy video. I did a review on the episode Life of Brian. I kind of don't want to, talk about the stuff behind the scenes, and just focus more on the actual content itself. Now, I may bring it up occasionally, just because, but, I don't know, this show, I don't know if I have a lot to say about behind the scenes, because I feel like the drama behind the scenes, I think, for the most part, was pretty tamed. However, this show, I will say, there's actually a lot of things I like about this show. Yeah, there's actually a lot of things I like about it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things I hate about it, too. I think we're going to start off with the things I like about it first, So first off, we're going to start off with the characters themselves, the main characters. A lot of people actually don't like the main characters. I actually don't find them too bad. I think they're pretty interesting and all that. I like, Kang and all that. I got Kane, and then we have, Hera and all that. They have a nice relationship. I like Kane training, Ezra to become this Jedi. I like the Beast guy, which I forgot his name. And then we have, the other character, we have her, her name is, I forgot her name. She was originally a, part of, she was part of something else, a Mandalorian. She was a Mandalorian and all that, and kind of left. And all that, so there's some stuff like that. I will say I don't like Chopper, though. Chopper can burn in hell. Chopper's kind of fucking annoying in this show. Like, Chopper's like their very own R2D2. I just do not like Chopper. Chopper is just annoying. Like, Chopper has some moments where he can be good, but for the most part, Chopper is just annoying. Like, I feel like Chopper is just constantly trying to start stuff with people and all that. Like, if it were up to me, I'd be fucking shipping his ass off right now. Like, I really don't like him. Like, I just fucking toss him into like space or something. Because, God, I hate Chopper so much. I really do. Like, he's not the most annoying character. Like, I'll take him over any of the characters in the sequel trilogy, but I definitely will say I definitely hate him more than Jar Jar. I told you guys, I actually don't mind Jar Jar too much. Jar Jar was not that bad of a character. Like, I think he was alright. He was annoying at times, but he wasn't, like, super annoying, like, compared to other characters. But, yeah, but Chopper is definitely annoying. Chopper is just, like, I do not like Chopper. I will say I hate his character and all that, but, yeah, and all that, but, I don't think he's that bad. And I will say, too, I also like the battles, and I like the story arcs of some of this stuff. Like, we get to learn more about the characters and all that, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, though, this is kind of where some of those good things kind of also come into some other problems. So I talked about how the main characters are actually very good, and a lot of people don't like him. I actually like him. Except again for, Chopper, because Chopper is fucking annoying, but, I don't know, but I will say, the thing I don't like, though, is, this show actually does something I will say I like, but I don't like how they did it. So this show actually brings back, elements from the Clone Wars, which is really cool. However, I really hate how underutilized a lot of the shit is and all that. And I get it's supposed to be focusing on the rebels, them trying to win back people's trust. Because the whole point of Revenge of the Sith is Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious, as his name is, and he basically, turned everybody against the Jedi and all that, and they became wanted. So, having this show, do all that, is nice. But it was also nice to have some of this stuff tied in there. Like, they have one episode where they, like, for example, meet this droid guy from the Clone Wars show, which I don't really know who he is exactly, because I never finished watching it. But what I can hear is people are saying it was kind of cut. Like, he was cut from the, from an arc. But I think he had another arc, too. I believe. But he was sadly cut from the show. Like, he was cut because they canceled the Clone Wars. But he was cut, though. They cut him out, which really sucks, but but yeah, the thing is, though, he showed up in this show, but in, like, one episode. It's like they were gonna, build onto it, but they never did. Which actually would have been kind of cool because they brought back the droids. Like, it would have been kind of cool if maybe the rebels could have the droids. But to be fair, though, this does take place, before A New Hope. So it takes place before A New Hope. So they probably didn't want to put that in there. But I'm like, I don't know. I thought they could have added it. Like, that's something they could have done in the sequel trilogy. Instead of, like, ripping off, the original trilogy, they could have, like, made it where the rebels had the droids and all that. And then, like, I don't know. They could have done some cool stuff with it. But they kind of just did it in, like, one episode. And that's it. Yeah, one episode they did this all in, and that's pretty much it. And sadly, we never really see the droids really get. I mean, I guess we see them. They do use them in the Geonosian episode, which, by the way, was a part 2 and all that. But for the most part, they don't really use it that much. Well, they just don't use it that much, which kind of, stinks, but... yeah, I don't know. It's just the thing, though. They do a lot of this. They do a lot of things. Like, they do, like, build, like, they even have Darth Maul appear now, which, by the way, Darth Maul, I think, was done dirty in this show. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like Darth Maul. Like, from what I saw at the Clone Wars show, which I saw a lot of episodes, Darth Maul was actually very good in that show. Because, yeah, they brought him back in this show. But they brought him back, which I will say, some people were kind of upset about that because he was supposed to be dead he was supposed to be dead in that, the Phantom Menace. But I think, unlike Princess Leia and the sequel trilogy where she got, like, fucking the ship blown up, we see it blown up and then she's in space. I can see Darth Maul survive, because Darth Maul, we don't actually see his corpse. And, also, he's not a human, so it's possible he could survive in space. So it makes more sense than having, like, Princess Leia, doing that, especially the Force ability and all that. But I don't know. But yeah, he's in this show too and all that, and yeah, they continue his arc. But honestly, they barely do anything with him, and all, like, his character wasn't done super dirty, but like, but it was it was done pretty bad. Like, I feel like, again, they could have done so much more with him. They make him like a sad old man who is just obsessed with going to find Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then they defeat him. Like, Obi-Wan defeats him so easily. Like, he's fucking, like, I don't know, like, how the hell did he defeat him so easily? Like, I got some shit on him for like that. Like, I got shit on for like that, and I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, the moment was kind of touching, but like, I hate how easily that Obi-Wan defeated him and all that, and they try to explain some stuff in there, and I'm like, you can't tell me, like, you can't do all this explaining with these theories and all that, how Obi-Wan defeated Darth Maul. Like, he defeated him super easy and all that, and it just kind of sucks, But that's how a lot of the characters are. A lot of them were were brought back, but like, they barely did anything with them. Even Ahsoka, Ahsoka did do a little bit more, but like, she was like brought back later in the finale, which I don't want to. I'm probably gonna do a review on the finale maybe in the future. Like, I might do a solo review on the episode. I might do some of these in general, so I don't want to like go into too much details. But yeah, that's kind of the thing, though. They basically, I say, with that, they kind of, but basically, they brought her back too, but they did more with her, I feel like, than they did with Darth Maul. Darth Maul was definitely done dirty. And then they brought back the pirate guy. It feels like they just brought him back just to get the voice actor of freaking Tigger back. Get Tigger's voice actor to come back. He's a talented voice actor, I will give him that. He even voiced a character in Scooby-Doo Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. But which ironically, I think he played like a captain of like a boat, like a steamboat. Like, he wasn't like a captain, like a pirate captain, but the thing is though, like, that's the thing with the whole thing with then they brought him back too, but I really think he's annoying. Like, he barely like every time he's on screen, I'm like he keeps screwing things up, he keeps stabbing him in the back, but somehow fucking Ezra and the other characters still trust him and all that, and I'm like, you guys see he's fucking scamming you and all that. Like, there's one episode where they find a ship that's just sitting there and he's going for money and all that, and nearly gets everybody killed, and somehow it's okay. But I don't know if he's like that in the Clone Wars show or not. I'd have to rewatch the Clone Wars show, but I don't remember him being that bad of a character there, but here he is. I don't know, that's the problem. Like, they bring back a lot of this stuff, but then it's kind of annoying, they kind of drop it. It's the same with these story arcs. Like, the story arcs in this show, they have a lot of that in this show too, which they do a very good job with, but unfortunately though, they do a lot of, good with it, but like, they bring up like some plots and then never really touch on them again, like, we don't really get to hear the Beast guy. Apparently has some species of him and all that, and he's supposed to be like the chosen one or something like that, I think that's what it was. They brought it like in one episode. After that, he's just gone. They're just gone. They show up later in the show too as part of the finale, but like, they don't really touch on that again. That's the thing, they do that a lot. They'll touch on a lot of topics, and like, they don't touch on them again. Another problem I will say I have with this show is the fucking animation. The animation in this show is bad. Like, it's not the worst. Like, I've seen some pretty bad animation. Like, if you guys watch Saber Spark, he's had some very bad, like, he's reviewed some very bad animation stuff, but, like, it looks really bad. Like, even looking at this picture, like, look at the hair. The hair looks all plastic. It doesn't look, like, real. I mean, it's supposed to be CGI. They're not supposed to be live action characters, but I figured they would at least, like, have, the hair look nice and all that, like, but it looks very plastic and cheap, where, like, the Clone Wars, it looks a lot better, which is, I'm like, this is fucking Disney we're talking about. Disney has Pixar. They couldn't, like, hire anybody at Pixar to make, some of the lighting or some of the effects look better. Like, they look like shit. Even Yoda, like, I forgot, Yoda appears in this show, too. Yoda looks fucking awful. He looks horrifying in this show. Like, he looks horrifying. Like, it just looks bad. Also, by the way, later in the show, they'll also change what's his name, Ezra's hair. I forgot his name's Ezra's hair, and make it shorter and all. I'm like, I kind of like his hair being longer, but I don't know. I mean, they do that a lot. Like, there's even, like, they do this, like, a lot of Jedi and all that. They'll have the hair be shorter and all that, but they'll change their hairstyles up over time. Like, Obi-Wan and Anakin's, for example, like, Obi-Wan's hair was, like, short, and then it went long, and then it went back to short. Anakin's hair got longer as, time went on. But I don't really like, I kind of like Ezra's hair being longer. It just looks better on him. But the hair still looks pretty bad, too. Like, it said some of the animation looks bad, too. Like, it's not the worst thing ever, but it's definitely could have been better. It could have definitely been better. I'm trying to think, if there's anything else I want to talk about, like, when it comes to this show. I will say this too, I do like the villain in this. There's a villain in this show. I forgot his name, but he's like a Smurf looking, he looks like a Smurf and all that, which is pretty funny. But yeah, he looks like he's like a Smurf looking character. I forgot his name, but he's blue and all that. But he's very smart and all that, and I like how well they written his character. But speaking of characters, like, I will say some of the characters, like Darth Vader, for example. Darth Vader is barely in this show at all. Either Darth Vader, like, if you go in Disney Plus and watch the show, like, you can see, like, Darth Vader, like, because I watched this at my mom's house, because I'm like, I don't want to bother signing up for Disney Plus really here, because I'm like, I don't watch it much, because I was doing it for a review, but, like, if you watch it, you can tell they have, like, Darth Vader on there, like, showcasing, like, he's gonna be in the show, but it's only, like, a couple episodes. He's in a couple episodes, and then that's it. He's in a couple episodes, and then that's it. I mean, he's in a couple episodes, and then he's basically just gone, and they don't really bring him up again. Which seems kind of weird. I mean, again, I know it's supposed to focus on, the rebels trying to win back the war, but I figured at least they would have Darth Vader in a little more episodes too, So a lot of characters just don't feel like they get used a lot, That's kind of what happened with Darth Maul. His character was not used a lot, and with Darth Maul, I thought they didn't know what they were doing with him at all, really. I feel like, again, he was kind of just... I feel like there was so much more they could have done with this character, but yeah, I don't know. But that's the thing, though, too. I just think there's a lot more they could have done with some of this stuff, but I will say, one more thing I will say, too, is, we do lose one of the members of, the rebels here. We lose Kane, and I gotta say that scene was so fucking, like, heartbreaking and all that to see, like one of the most heartbreaking scenes ever. I don't know if it's as heartbreaking as Darth Vader's, but it's definitely up there. Like, you know, his sacrifice and all that to save everybody. Like, it was so up there and all that. Like, it was really, you know, nice. It was touching. Like, it was sad, but like it was a nice, beautiful scene. You know, seeing him sacrifice everybody to save, sacrifice himself to save everybody. You know, it was nice. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, for the most part, though, as I said, this show though it's got its ups and downs. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a good. Yeah, surprisingly, it is a good. It is a good. Like, this show is definitely a good. Like, I was thinking, like, this show is gonna either be a meh or something like that, but this show is actually really good. I watched, like, every episode of this show. I don't plan to do that with every show I'm reviewing, but I'll probably do that with the Clone Wars show. But I won't be doing that with every single show I watch. But the Clone Wars show, I've seen a good chunk of the episodes already, so I probably won't watch all of them, so maybe the review won't take as long, hopefully, but I will be splitting that stuff up, to separate videos here. Because, you know, the Disney one is different than the regular Clone Wars show, so I figured I'll review that separate. But, yeah, I don't, but yeah, it's definitely a pretty good, you know, good one. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it a score now. Okay, although this show is good, I have to unfortunately be giving this one a 78 point percentage. Yeah, unfortunately, this one's definitely not as good, unfortunately, as the show is not as good as the you know, this show is not as good as like as other Star Wars projects we've seen, but it's definitely not bad. But unfortunately, due to the animation style and then the lack of some of the plots, I kind of hate that they abandoned some of this stuff. And then some of the characters that they added from the, you know, the Clone Wars and all that barely play any roles in here. I have to give this one 78 points. There's even some characters in this show that they actually introduced in this show that they disappear and never brought up again. But apparently, yeah, this show was actually was going to be wrapped up. So actually, it was able to be wrapped up. So I'm like, how come this show got a chance to be fucking wrapped up, but they couldn't bother wrapping up the damn Clone Wars show? I don't know. I don't know why fucking they did this shit, but they did. You know, they basically did this. They decided to like cancel the other show instead of letting it wrap up, and then they do this one. I could say maybe it's because of Cartoon Network, because Clone Wars aired on Cartoon Network, but on the other hand, I'm like, they could have just aired the rest of the episodes on fucking Disney Channel. They didn't need to, like, you know, take out all that stuff, you know. Because, I mean, that's the thing, though, the season 7 could be good, but from what I can gather, is a lot of people are saying that they kind of would have preferred them not to cancel the show. So I'm going to have to watch season 7 of the Clone Wars, you know, to kind of figure that out. But like I told you guys, I'm going to do that separate, because I'm going to do the original Clone Wars show first, and then the Disney one, because the Disney one's more so of a revival / you know, their own thing. They kind of, like I said, cancel the original show, you know, so. But I will be tackling both of them in the future, but that's why I reviewed this one first, because it does have some elements from that show, but yeah, I don't know, but this show's okay. Like, it's good, but it's barely passing as a good. It's almost a meh, but that's because it just, like I said, it has a lot of things I like about it, with story-wise and all that, but there's a lot of things I don't like about it either. Like, I guess it's probably one of those shows, like, I wouldn't mind coming back and get to sometimes, but I probably wouldn't come back to it as much as other shows. But yeah. Also, I guess one more thing before I let things go, I also forgot to bring this up too, is the music as well. The music in this show is not very good either. Like it's not bad, but it feels like it where like the Clone Wars, the prequels, and all that had their own themes. Like they actually gave Star Wars their own themes. I feel like they don't really do a lot of interesting things like the music in this show. Even the intro kind of sucks. It's just a jingle. Like I hate how the Rebels. It's just a jingle. Like I would like for them to like they could have put it's a nice jingle. Like I think it would have been nice to have it at the end of the episode, but having it at the beginning, like as an intro, I think it kind of sucks. Like I don't know. I kind of don't like it as much, but I don't know. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this. This show is not bad. Like I think it's good. It's just not that good to me. Like I definitely have problems with it, but that's just my opinion. You guys can let me know your guys' opinions down in the comments below. I'll see you guys all later. Bye bye.